Alright, the previous two videos on this topic we discussed about how to calculate basic earnings per share. This video focuses on the next topic within this next subtopic within this topic, which is about calculating diluted earnings per share. So let's say if a company has outstanding preferred stock which is convertible to common stock at the discretion of the stockholders. So if a company has outstanding, we are not talking about the common stock right now, we are talking about the preferred stock. If the company has outstanding preferred stock which is convertible to common stock, what happens in this case? Now this conversion shall increase the number of common stock outstanding. Now just how do we get just a recap on what we learned in previous video was net income minus preferred stock dividend divided by weighted average common shares outstanding. This is what we have already discussed in the previous video. So what happens? This conversion increases the number of common stock outstanding, and this also gives way to a higher net income. This also gives way to a high net income that is available to common stockholders. Well, how? Now this increases our numerator and this decreases our denominator. Now mathematically it is pretty simple. The conversion of our preferred stock into a common stock increases the number of shares that are there, outstanding shares for common stockholders, while it increases the numerator. Now let's move on to an example to see how this works. For example, let's say there's this company that has outstanding common stock and preferred stock and has a net income of $1,750,000. The common stock, weighted average common stock outstanding during the year were 500,000. Number of preferred stock outstanding were 20,000. The conversion factor, which means how many common stock, the number of common stock units that will be available to 1 unit of preferred stock. Over here it's 5. So that means if we convert the preferred stock, common stock, 20,000 will be multiplied by 5, which gives us 100,000 units of common stock. And dividend per share of preferred stock was $10. Now we'll calculate basic and diluted earnings based on these numbers. So we start off our calculation with our net income. Then we obviously, while calculating our basic EPS, we are going to subtract the preferred dividend, which is 20,000 times 5, which will be 200,000. And when we are calculating diluted EPS, that is when all the preferred stock outstanding were converted to common stock, our dividend would be 0. So this gives us, when we subtract our preferred stock dividend from our net income, this will be the net income available to common stockholders. Now, number of common stock shares outstanding during the year. Now we already have a numerator, which is this. Now we're going to find out our denominator. Number of common stock shares outstanding during the year was 500,000 and 500,000 here as well. New CS common stock shares issued during the year. For diluted, obviously it's 0, and for basic EPS it's 0, and for diluted EPS it will be 20,000 times 5. For each common stock we have to issue 5 shares of, for each unit of preferred stock we are going to issue 5 shares of common stock. This gives us 100,000. So total shares outstanding will be, in this case it's going to be 500,000 and 600,000 respectively. So our EPS will be, basic EPS will be let's call this A and let's call this B. So this is A divided by B. Just to recapture what we have done, we were calculating earnings per share, both basic and diluted, for a company that earned 1,750,000 in net income. Preferred dividend for the outstanding preferred stock at the beginning of the year was 10 per preferred stock unit. So we arrived at the total preferred dividend of $200,000, which gave us a net income available to our common stockholders for basic EPS was $1,550,000. Whereas if we were calculating diluted EPS, there were no outstanding preferred stock if all the preferred stock was converted to common stock. So this gave us a numerator of 1,550,000 and 1,750,000 respectively. Number of shares outstanding were 500,000 during the year for both cases, and new shares issued was 100,000 for the calculation of diluted EPS. So the total number of shares outstanding for the calculation were 500,000 for basic EPS and 600,000 for diluted EPS. So when we divided A by B, we arrived at the basic EPS of $3.10 and $2.92 respectively. So in this case we see a dilution of earnings occurring because of the conversion of common stock, conversion of preferred stock to common stock. Okay, in the next video we are going to talk about what happens to our earnings per share, how our earnings per share are diluted when we have convertible debt outstanding.